Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Today we're going to convey our motion about this house would impoverish corruptors. I am from government teams. Based on the 16th point of SDGs about peace, justice, and strong institutions that we cannot hope for sustainable development without peace, stability, human rights, and effective governance. Based on the rule of law. Yet our world is increasingly divided. Some regions enjoy peace, security, and prosperity, while others fall into seemingly endless cycles of conflict and violence. This is not inevitable and must be addressed. Armed violence and insecurity have a destructive impact on a country development, affecting economic growth and often resulting in grievance and loss for generations. Sexual violence, crime, exploitations, and torture are also prevalent where there is conflict or no rule of law. And countries must take measures to protect those who are most at risk. The SDGs aim to reduce all forms of violence and work with governments and communities to end conflict and insecurity. Promoting the rule of law and human rights are key to this process, as is reducing the flow of illicit arms and strengthening and participation of developing countries in the institutions of global governance. Ladies and gentlemen, here I agree with the motion stating that the corruptors must get that penalty. There are some reasons why I can say this. Those can be looked upon some point of views. First, regarding from law. Here I would like to give some reasons regarding law constitutions. Ladies and gentlemen, based on Constitution 1999, number 31, Article 2 stating that the death penalty can be executed in certain conditions and it's really a must to be done, including finish death penalty upon the corruptors. If the death penalty really be executed, it will give a shock therapy for the corruptor because all of corruptors will be afraid to do corruption again. Then the candidate of the new corruptor will think twice or maybe 3 times, 4 times, 5 times, up to 100 times to do corruptions because if they will do corruption, they will get that penalty. Ladies and gentlemen, when we're watching televisions, reading newspaper, or listen to radio, corruption is mainly discussed as the hottest issues. These cases are found everywhere, either in countryside or big cities. The corruption can be whoever having a chance to do it. It can occur at all levels of our society, such as from local and national government. Those are like the leader of village, representative of citizens, and up to the highest level. If the bad condition is not done soon by VIM sanctions, what will happen with the country in the future, ladies and gentlemen? Here, the VIRMA sanction for the corruptor, they must get that penalty. If the corruptor gets only a sentence in prison, they can still feel the freedom. For example, one of the corruptor is in our country has got a sentence in prison, but he can still go anywhere. Even in jail, he got luxurious facilities like air conditioner, LCD player, and even they can go out to the prison. As we all know that our country and government has afforded to eliminate corruption in our country, like government has formed a board such as Commission of Corruption Eradication or KPK. Even in all constitution had been contented about banning in perpetrate corruption. But what had happened in our surroundings? There are still many corruptors. They didn't feel afraid of it. If our government just relax and give penalty in jail for the corruptors, how about our country in the future and for the next generations? There will be corruptors everywhere in the villages up to the big cities. Relating to this, it's better to give that penalty for the corruptor rather than sentence in jail for some years or a long life. Please well imagine with your logical thought, if the corruptor get only sentence in jail or maybe long life, does it make our country lost and it doesn't give advantage for us and our country? For example, if the corruptor is just in jail, of course our government will give meals for them. They don't give our government advantage but make our government lose. Ladies and gentlemen, to avoid the worst thing that will happen, our government must give a firm penalty. That is the penalty for the corruptor. So the conclusion, corruption is an extraordinary crime that has an impact on losses and the country economy so that it has a negative impact on the welfare of society. Various criminal sanctions have been imposed on the perpetrators, but these sanctions haven't provided a deterrent effect. Capital punishment as a sanctions against perpetrators of corruptions can be carried out on the condition that the sense of justice in society is fulfilled as a preventive measure. The position of the death penalty is appropriate for the implementations of corruptions as a crime against the sense or justice and detrimental to the fulfillment of the welfare and prosperity of the community. Corruption means the abuse of legal power by government official by immoral private gain. So that's all from me. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. I am from the opposition team. Will be explained. I am disagree with the motion because there are some reasons why I disagree about it. It can be regarded from various kind of field. First, regarded from human right, and the second regarded from psychology of corruptor family. Ladies and gentlemen, I will speak about human right. I think we all know what human right it is. Human right is the right that adhere in everyone's self since inside of one that have a supreme and fundamental as the gift of God for long life, and it can be claimed by whoever, and it must be respected, be kept, and must be protected by whoever, social or state. From the statement above, it is really obvious that everyone has human right, especially life right, including for the corruptor. Corruptor is also an ordinary human, like me, like you, and like us. So, corruptor has human right to life as well. Why corruptor should be get a death penalty? We recognize that Indonesia, even the house of corruptors, many corruptors in Indonesia started by the most little levels up to highest level. But I think to give penalty, our government must not use a death penalty. Actually, the corruptors are mostly smart person and have an outstanding education. But because of their intelligence is not balanced, it's not be balanced by strong religion lessons, so finally they are taken to do a corruptions. And if all of them get a death penalty, what will happen to our country? Perhaps citizens or residents in Indonesia is only a stupid person as the rest. If we wait the next generation, I'm not sure it will be better than corruptor right now. Like what I say in my previous statement, that actually the corruptor mostly are smart people. If death penalty really be done, it will reduce in intelligence our government. So, relating to this, I think a death penalty is not really important. Instead of giving that penalty, it is better if our government improve things for development our country. And instead of their behavior maybe, perhaps our government can give the corruptors as penalty as heavy as the loss that is caused of them. It is not necessary if corruptors get a death penalty. So the conclusion is not all of corruptors can be sentenced to death because the corruptors still have the right to live and still have the rights in their family. Most of them do the corruption is coercions of circumstance that require them to do corruptions. The government should educate the corruptors not to do the same thing when the sentence is over. It is all from me. I'm from the opposition team. Thank you.
Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.